So what we're going to go through is a revised building the ball Qigong set. It should be done sitting to start with, and then once you've got your hands tuned in and upper body tuned in, then you can tune in the rest of the body standing. The reason why you practice Qigong sitting first is your legs and pressures in your arms and so forth can distract you. So you keep your arms relatively close to your body so your arms are swinging. You don't want to have your arms out here because you just build tension and your awareness can't expand when you have tension pulling the awareness in. So it's very important to create a state of relaxation inside your body and so that you can tune the awareness. Now there's three critical qualities that you want to work with when you're doing this. The first is applying the willpower into the breath and then fusing that into the stretch. So what I mean by the stretch is stretching your joints open. So it's not stretch as in flexion doing the splits, it's stretch as in lengthening. So we want to make the joints longer. So this lengthening process is really just pushing the joints open. From the center of the joint you just simply expand. And the fusion of your willpower, so all your attention is focused on the breath, and the breath is concentrated in expanding and stretching open the joints, you'll get a little bit of residual tension around your muscles. So what we want to do is relax and hang the muscle and then open the joint. And then relax and hang the muscle, open the joint. And you're going to have a flux between these two qualities. And this flux will be a changing of attention to increasing relaxation, condensing breath, opening the joints, and then tuning into this magnetic fluid feeling. And the quality we're looking for is similar to playing with two magnets. They have an attractive and repelling quality to them. And all the other sensations, I just want you to ignore them. This magnetic fluidic quality is what we want to pay attention to. Once we pay attention to it, we can build it. Okay, so have your arms relatively close. So your elbow is just pointing straight down. There's no tension in your shoulder. You're not doing any of this stuff. Keep the elbows down. And then gently stretch your fingers open so that you're holding a ball between your hands. That's why they obviously call this Qigong holding the ball. Now as you breathe in, as your rib cage expands, I want you to stretch your fingers in synchronicity with your lungs, your ribs. As your rib cage contracts, compress the ball, increase the stretch within your hands, and then pressurize the ball. As you open your lungs, open the ball. As the lungs release and diaphragm releases, compress the ball. So this process, focusing the breath and the stretch of the fingers and the ball, is synchronized with the breath, synchronized with the body. Increase the space on the in-breath and condense the will, and condense the breath, condense the space on the out-breath. Okay, so this first phase, you want to do it for several minutes or until you have a magnetic feeling between your hands. Now, the feeling of this magnetism, we want to stretch that through the whole body. So once you've got the magnetism in the hands, so the hands are the most sensitive part of the body, then we open the wrist up, stretch that open the elbow, shoulder, connect the midpoint of the scapula, so we create a large circle around our body. We call this the upper ring. We want to stretch this whole circle open and then continue building the ball. So we're tuning the back, we're tuning the shoulders, we're tuning the elbows, the wrists, the fingers into this magnetic quality. So this whole upper circle of the body becomes magnetic. Very important to maintain a continual awareness of this breath cycle, keeping the will focused on the breath and condensed into the joints and into the feeling. Once this feeling starts to increase, we pay more attention to the feeling and what is it that generates an increase of this feeling. So you'll find that by relaxing, hanging the muscle and opening the joint, you get an increase. By stretching everything open, you get an increase. By releasing tension while under stretch, you get an increase. while focusing the mind on the breath and concentrating in the correct way, you'll get an increase. By doing this under a tree that's you've got resonance with, you'll get an increase. Doing this exercise in a sacred place like this temple, you'll get an increase. By training this on a vortex, an environment where you feel that the energy is strong and you feel good, you'll get an increase. By training this at sunrise, just before the sun's about to come up, and you have that morning dew on the grass, you'll get an increase. Doing this up in the mountains where the energy is soft and light and there's a sense of power in the air, you'll get an increase. By doing this in the ocean, right on the edge where the water laps onto the land and you have this 1 meter zone where the energy clouds up where the water and the land meet, you'll get an increase. By doing this next to a waterfall, you'll get a profound increase in energy. By doing this in any place where there's a large amount of meditators, you'll get an increase. Going to old sacred sites, you'll find there'll be a lot more power there. You'll get an increase. By going to stupas in Thailand, they're all over the place. And you just train and connect to the stupa, touch the stupa like it's a big ball, breathe into it, you'll get a huge increase in energy. So we have all these different places and methods to amplify, and I've just scratched the surface on that small list of places to train where the electromagnetic field, the life force, is charged up like a battery, and you go into the space of that battery and do this exercise, you get a huge amplification. So I'm not going to go through the whole building the ball set because I've done many videos on my Vimeo channel. I think I've got one on YouTube as well on that topic, but this is the theory and the basic idea. The whole set is designed to hit the feeling of the energy from different angles. So you get a sense of this is the effect in the fingers, this is the effect on the forearm, and this is the effect when the energies cross on diagonals and so forth. There's all these doors that open up the feeling and increase the feeling through the building the ball set. Once that door is open and you've got the feeling, you only repeat the exercises enough times so that you can share it with other people. You don't need to train it. It's there to open the door. Once the door is open, you step through the door, continue with the other exercises. So this is an introductory method for generating sensitivity. When you're doing this exercise a lot, it's very valuable to eat raw food, raw whole foods. And when the food's raw, the life force is alive. You put it under a microscope, it's living food. If over 50% of your diet is raw, you'll find a huge increase in vitality. This also includes raw fish, raw meats. It's not purely vegan, but raw foods in general will have huge amounts of vitality and life inside them, and you'll notice substantial amounts of energy arising. Of course, that if you're eating raw meat, make sure you're eating meats that are prepared to be eaten raw, not the stuff you get at the supermarket. But so if you go to a Japanese restaurant, you have the sashimi and so forth. That's the best way. But keep, if not all your food, at least over half of your food raw, and you'll get substantial increases in vitality and energy in the body. Other things you can do is train with 2 or 3 other people. When you're doing this in a small group or larger than 2, 3, you have a resonance. Each tuning fork feeds off the other tuning fork, and the alpha tuning fork will radiate through the other tuning forks, and everyone will lift each other up. It's kind of like a support network. If you have 10 tuning forks and each one's feeding each other, it's 10 times 10. You've got the power of 100 people. So it has this multiplication, square rooting effect, where the energies are increasing substantially by being in a group. And if you're a beginner and you walk into a group that's doing this, you'll catch the feeling straight away because of that group energy. And there's huge value in this type of training. So I suggest you find a group that you're comfortable with, and there's all different types of Qigong schools that practice building the ball. It's kind of a foundation exercise. Because mind moves the Qi moves the body. We've got to get the mind to feel the Qi, and then how does it move the body. And we'll go through all that theory in the Vimeo course, YouTube, I don't put too much on that topic because I want people to follow the process step by step so they can get the depth of understanding. If I put information like that on YouTube, where there's a lot of people that aren't fully invested mentally, emotionally and financially into developing, they're simply not going to grasp it, they're not going to get it. You have to have a level of commitment to this process to really feel the energy, feel the Jin, slow it down, release time, feel the Qi, release space, bring it into the spirit, and develop Shenming. So it's a very simple process. It's a mechanical process in the physical body, so it's a feeling mechanics in the astral body, and it's mind mechanics in the mental body. It's very mechanized. There's nothing mystical about this. Mysticism is just things people don't understand. It's mechanistic. Okay, there's a lot of people coming through, so I'll leave this video there, and thanks for your attention. Take care.